title is Pictures on the Wall. When we move into a new place, furnished or unfurnished, usually we find that the only thing on the wall is paint. So we put things on the wall. What do we put on the wall? Well, some of us put up landscapes, some put up seascapes, but many, many people put up pictures of people that are important to them in their life, people in their family, people who are alive, people who passed on, people who are tzaddikim, to remind us to strive for the best that we can do in everything that we do to keep sacred, to keep holy our lives the way they were intended to be. That's how we come into this world, and that's how we're supposed to keep striving. So we have these pictures. Now we have the pictures for a variety of reasons. For some of us, it just gives us a nice warm fuzzy feeling to see pictures of our Zadie or our grandchildren, whatever it is. And that's important. That's physical, it's very physical. On a more spiritual level, these pictures are important to us because they kind of force us into a mode of checking ourselves. What do we do every day? Are we getting better? Are we getting worse? In the merit of those who are looking up to us, in the merit of those who have passed on and are looking down upon us, and particularly the tzaddikim. It's a way of helping us to measure on a regular basis. Are we getting holier? Are we going the other direction? Sacred or profane? Now what's important in life? The physical, you know, is not important. We've discussed this before. You can't take it with you. I mean, you can take it, but it doesn't go anywhere. You can take all your money, convert it to cash, have it put in the ground with you, but it's no good to you and it's no good to anybody else. Okay? So the importance of the physical is not so much so, but the importance of the things that we do on a spiritual basis, they last forever. This is how we have a sense of immortality. It's been, what, 1,000 years, or more, almost 1,000 years since Yarizal. We remember him. It's been 1,000 years since the Rambam. We remember him as if he was here today. His influence is everlasting. It stayed with us all the time. And this is what we want to be, striving for. We had an example last week. We had an example of Eliezer, the servant of Abraham. Now, it doesn't say specifically that's who went to get the bride for Isaac. But the Rav pretty much accept it was him. So, Eliezer watched over everything on a physical basis for Abraham. Everything except his wife, but everything else on a physical basis he kept an eye on. Abraham trusted him with everything. But when he went to go get him a bride for Isaac, he made him take a vow, a sacred vow. Put his hand under his thigh because it's kind of connected to the mitzvah of Shemit Habrit. And he made him swear what he would do, the kind of wife he would pick. It was important because that's not necessarily the physical, that's the spiritual. It lasts forever. No matter if you're pretty today, 50 years from now, 70 years from now, you will not look the same in most cases. Therefore, it's more important on the spiritual side. Now, I bring this up today to you because we're going through a very difficult time in the history of the earth. We're going through a time where we're being tested, and I really believe that we are at the time right now where it's a permanent test between good and evil, the choice between the sacred and the profane. We see it here in Israel, in a mayoral contest we have, where one is supported by Haredi, and the other, I think he left his kippah in his pocket. I don't know. He says he's not going to change things. We've heard this before, boys and girls, haven't we? So, you have a choice between the sacred and the profane. The choice is an obvious one this time. It's not so close that you have to say, well, maybe this, maybe that, maybe the other one. It's an obvious choice Hashem has given us. Same thing for you in the United States right now. You have two parties to select from. One party goes on their merit. They try to do things the right way. They try to show you that they're working for your best. They try to do what they're supposed to do, and they try to have an honest election. The other side, I've never seen, first of all, women fight so hard for the right to kill their own children. But that's what these people do, not these people. These people feel the need to cheat. They feel the need to stuff ballot boxes, register false voters, register people who are really eligible to vote. This is how they do things. And they said in interviews that they think cheating is okay. Again, you have a very clear choice. What is your choice? Between the sacred and the profane. Between the sacred and the profane. The other day, there was an election in Brazil. Now, I talked to somebody the other day and I said, do you know where Brazil is? And they said, I think so. It's a small island, isn't it? No, it's not. Brazil is almost the size of the United States. Yes, there's a lot of rainforest, but then again, there's a lot of places in the United States where people do not live also. This particular president, one of the first things he said is, I need to meet with Premier Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, because I want to move our embassy from Tel Aviv down to Jerusalem, their capital, which is where it belongs. Same thing happened in Italy. You are seeing it happen all over the world. You have attacks from incoming people, from immigrants from the Middle East who are going to Europe, from immigrants from South and Central America who are trying to go to the United States, and they've made their intentions clear, make no mistake about it. You have 7,000 people coming up from the South, which I find absolutely remarkable. The 7,000 people got up one morning and said, gee, you know what? I think we should march to the United States. No preparation, no nothing. They just started walking. They had sleeping bags. They had food for how many meals a day? Oh, 120,000 maybe. They had sanitary facilities. What do you need for sanitary facilities? They broke down the barrier between Guatemala and Mexico, and now they're headed to the United States, and their intention, by their own admission, is to come in illegally. There are 300 places on the southern border where they can come in legally. They know the rules, they know the laws, they know how to do it. They have chosen not to, by their own intention, by their own words. This is coming now to the U.S., and you have one side saying, we can't let them in until they come in legally. They must go through the same thing that everybody else goes through to come in. My grandparents, my great-grandparents, they were immigrants to the United States. They came from Eastern Europe. When they came to America, there was no welfare, there was no Medicaid, there was no Section 8 housing, there was no free education, there was nothing. They came, and when they came, they had to prove that somebody would vouch for them. They had work waiting for them. They had jobs. This is how you come to a new country. On the other side, you have people coming to a new country waving the banner of their own country and burning the flag of the country they want so badly to be in. The choice, my friends, has never been so clear, and it's a choice we're all going to have to make. In America, tomorrow on the 6th, and in Israel, next week, we have a runoff. We have been given a choice, but it's no longer muddied up. It's no longer something that we have to wade through and see what does this side stand for and what does this side stand for. You can tell what the two sides stand for because they've said it with their own mouths. They've said what they want, and we now know this is what they're trying to do. Now, in this week's Parsha coming up, we have two children that are born.